The search for the EgyptAir plane wreckage continues, and there was a glimmer of hope in locating it after debris from the missing aircraft was sighted nearly 300 kilometers north of the Egyptian city of Alexandria. Egyptian authorities say debris found included personal belongings and parts of the Airbus Group SE A320. The discovery provides the first solid evidence that the jetliner plunged into the sea.
A short while ago, we were briefed by Egyptian authorities of the discovery of a body, of 2 seats and luggage in the area where the search was taking place, south of where the aircraft signal was lost.
The flight, with 66 people on board, vanished minutes after leaving Greek for Egyptian airspace on Thursday morning. Greece Defense Minister said Greek radar picked up sharp swings in its trajectory as it plunged from a cruising altitude to 15,000 feet before vanishing from radar. And as information about the debris was released, family members and friends of the victims of the EgyptAir jet crash held prayers in Cairo. Hundreds of other Egyptians also attended the prayers and mourned the victims in several other mosques around the capital. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi offered condolences for those on board. Although fingers are pointing towards Islamist militants who blew up another airliner over Egypt just 7 months ago, no group had claimed responsibility more than 24 hours after the disappearance of flight MS-804, which was flying from Paris to Cairo. 3 French investigators and a technical expert from Airbus arrived in Cairo early on Friday to help establish circumstances leading to the plane crash. Egyptian authorities say it was too early to rule out any explanation for the disaster. The country's aviation minister said a terrorist attack was more likely than a technical failure. Susan Mwongeli, CCTV.
And for more on this, we're joined by CCTV's Yasser Hakim in Cairo and Kate Parkinson in Paris. Yasser, there have been some positive developments in locating the debris of the Egypt airplane. What more can you tell us?
Yes, just like that was mentioned in the report, there were wreckage from the plane, seats were found, luggage, but I think most important were the body parts and bodies of the deceased, the passengers who are on the flight. And this has, to a large extent, made it clear to the families here that their loved ones have perished in the flight. During the day or early in the morning, before the debris was found, everyone was calling, and the families were calling for prayers, which were called the prayer for the missing. It's not like a funeral, it's for a missing, praying that we might show up one day or return. But now, when this happened, it all turned into funeral type of prayers for the deceased rather than prayers for the missing, who there were hopes they would return. At the same time, the rescue, the search operation continues. It's around 40 radius area that's covering the whole area around Alexandria. That's around 290 kilometers from Alexandria. They are continuing, not just with the Egyptian and Greek, but the French, the British have also said they are ready to help if requested by Egypt, and the US as well, especially concerning the black boxes. So there is still a lot of way to go to find the more of the debris, more of the bodies of the passengers, as well as the essential black boxes that will help determine what has happened to the plane.
Well, Kate, the search operation is an international effort. What role is France playing?
It certainly is an international effort, as we just heard. Salvage crews from Egypt and Greece have now been joined by 3 French investigators, as well as an official from Airbus, the European airline manufacturer, which is based here in France. They will be assisting authorities in this Egyptian-led investigation as they try to piece together exactly what happened. Certainly, answers are starting to come now. Debris is being found, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions, and key to getting those answers, specifically what caused the aircraft to quite literally fall out of the sky, will be finding the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. Now, this could take time in the area where the plane is believed to have crashed, where debris is being found. The water is up to 3,000 meters deep, so it's certainly going to be challenging to recover these black boxes. The French Navy has deployed a vessel which is equipped with sonar, which can read the locator beacons that are attached to the black boxes, so that should certainly help with the search. That vessel, we are told, will likely arrive in the search area in approximately 2 to 3 days.
Well, yes, sir. What kind of assistance is being extended to family members or relatives who have lost loved ones in this tragedy?
Well, yesterday, when the news came out about the flight's disappearance, just behind me here, the building just behind me is the place where they hosted the families of the passengers on board. Throughout the whole day, they met with them a few times. They were briefing them with all the latest developments. Now, today was quite different. The ones who were here yesterday were mainly the Egyptians who are here, or the ones who were expats living in Egypt. Today, the French family members came to Egypt and also from other countries that had lost their loved ones. And they arrived to Cairo and they are located in a hotel close by to the airport, where they have also been briefed throughout the day about all the developments. They have requested that the bodies, when found, to be sent here to Cairo so that they can then be turned into the families, whether the ones living here in Egypt or to be sent to the ones living abroad, to their families living abroad. And there is extensive care, psychological care as well. There's a committee that has been set up. This committee is a crisis team that is experienced on how to deal in this situation with the families. The whole of Egypt, you would feel, is behind those families and behind the ones who got lost in the flight. There has been prayers all over the country, not just the prayers in the mosques where the families were there, but all over the country. Prayers took place throughout the day. Many, even all of the TV channels have decided to cancel all form of entertainment. There's not yet what you call a national mourning, official national mourning, but it's been all done by the TV channels themselves, the media themselves, the institutions themselves. There is a mourning within the people, and they are all showing solidarity with the families of all who perished in the flight. There will be still time to decide if they will go to Alexandria or not, where it's the closest city where the debris was found and the bodies were found, or will they stay here and the bodies will be sent here to Cairo. This will be determined later in the night.
All right. And Kate, Egyptian authorities are not ruling out a terror attack as a possible cause of the plane crash. Is this theory also being considered by France, given the high security at the Charles de Gaulle airport in Paris?
Well, they're certainly not ruling it out. Certainly at this early stage in the investigation, I think the general consensus is that all theories should be considered. But yes, you are right. There is extremely high security at Paris's Charles de Gaulle airport. It's France's biggest airport. It's the second busiest airport in Europe. It's always had high security, and even more so now following the November terror attacks. After that, security was beefed up. There are now more police and army patrols. Video surveillance was increased. And so aviation experts have been saying, given the fact that Paris's Charles de Gaulle airport has some of the strictest security measures in the world, they find it hard to believe that there was a security breach there. Nevertheless, the French are taking no chances, and they have already started to probe airport workers. Certainly anyone we understand that had either direct or indirect contact with the doomed EgyptAir plane or luggage that was bound for that plane are now being questioned by the French authorities. We're told they're leaving no stone unturned. Certainly here in France, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, there is a very acute awareness of the ongoing terror threat. There were 2 very serious terrorist attacks here last year, and in fact just yesterday France's chief of the Internal Intelligence Agency said that the so-called Islamic State terrorists are gearing up for a new bombing campaign here in France next month during the Euro 2016 football championships, which are being held here. So the ongoing terror threat is very real here in France. It's something the French people are very aware of. And even though we are hearing from experts that it is unlikely that there was a breach of security at Charles de Gaulle Airport, and people being reminded that the plane had also been in Eritrea and Tunisia and Cairo in the 24 hours before it was in Paris, it's certainly something that the French authorities are looking into.
Okay, Kit Parkinson in Paris and Yasser Hakim in Cairo. Thank you both for joining us. Well, the search for answers continues, but for many Egyptians, there's little doubt about what it means. They fear the country will find itself shunned by former friends and allies. CCTV's Adel Mahroui has this story.
It's been a day at this airport that many will never forget. Many families have been here today and had their lives shattered. For other families and other flights, there's been no bad news, but it's still a very anxious wait.
I'm waiting for my daughter. She's coming from Saudi Arabia. I can't leave her after her long trip to come back home alone. I am here with her mother and brothers. We are 10 people here to see her. We all miss her. I can't imagine how families of the missing flight felt when they got the news. It must have been very painful.
The news of the Paris flight haunts people here. Whatever the reason for the crash, the fallout is likely to be damaging. Several years of insecurity have chased away tourists, and this is the 3rd major incident on an Egyptian air route in just over 6 months, and the 2nd deadly crash. So many are eager to know exactly what happened to flight MS-804, but others fear the consequences.
The French president was here a month ago and the man was supporting us. I see that whenever there's a good relation between us and any country in the world, something or some accident happens. It happened with Russia after the plane crash, and with Italy in the Regeni case, and now with France. Egypt is being extremely pressured. I hope this crisis passes.
That same feeling many Egyptians share. A feeling that they have been losing their international friends one at another, and they fear that this crash might affect their strongest European partner, France. But so far, President El-Sisi and President François Hollande stressed that they will pass this together and find the real reasons behind the crash. Adel Mahroui, CCTV, Cairo.
Now, it could be weeks before officials knew why EgyptAir flight MS-804 dropped out of the sky. But French authorities have already started looking for a cause, including exploring the possibility that an explosive device might have been put on the plane while it was in Paris. CCTV's Kit Parkinson reports from Paris' Charles de Gaulle Airport.
This is France's biggest airport. It's Europe's 2nd busiest. Security here is extremely high, even more so following the November terror attacks. After that, security was tightened. There was an increase of army and police patrols, and video surveillance was strengthened. Aviation experts say with such stringent security measures, the chance of a security breach here at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport is extremely unlikely. But French authorities are not taking any chances. All employees of the airport and the airline that could have had access to the doomed plane or luggage prior to takeoff have reportedly been questioned. It's important to point out there is no specific information pointing to a security breach here at Charles de Gaulle Airport. The doomed plane had also been in Asmara, Tunis and Cairo airports during the 24 hours before landing in Paris. Even so, there have been rising concerns over the past year about the potential security risks among the Charles de Gaulle staff. Last year, a number of baggage handlers and other airport staff were suspended or lost their jobs because they were suspected of links to radical Islam. And people here are acutely aware of the ongoing terror threat. In fact, it was only this week that the head of France's internal intelligence agency said that so-called Islamic State militants are planning a fresh wave of bombing attacks here in France next month during the Euro 2016 football championships, which France is hosting. Kate Parkinson, CCTV, Paris.